Yo, Fidzy here, aka Hegassen, and thank you for tuning in to my slightly late review of One Piece Manga Chapter 992. Why is it late? It is late because I've had a busy week setting up my new computer. Finally got a new computer, my old one was struggling. So really happy. That hopefully means that there's some good stuff and some improvements coming to the Hegassen channel over the next year. There's also been a lot of work going on outside, so it's been a very noisy week. And I've also been quite lazy watching Parks and Recreation because I got the week off. So I didn't want to do any YouTubing. But let's get into this chapter. I already did my live reaction. Let's get into the review. There's not going to be too much to speak about because this was mainly an action-packed episode. The episode manga chapter. But it was some good action and actually some action that we are seeing in the chapter. Unlike a lot of the stuff in the past, because One Piece recently, one of the biggest criticism is that a lot of the fights has been skipped. Most recently, the crime that was Nekomamushi and Inuarashi versus Jack being skipped, being off-paneled. Hopefully the anime is going to rectify that, or hopefully in the manga we're going to get a flashback about it, because I'm very disappointed that we skipped that. Here we have the Nine Red Scabbards going up against Kaido, and thankfully this was not skipped. We actually got to see it and it was awesome. Following on from Kinemon's cut of Kaido's breath, we see the rest of the Nine Red Scabbards having a go, including Nekomamushi and Inuarashi. Inuarashi showing off his new sword leg skills. Have no idea when he actually learnt how to use that thing because he seems to get it relatively recently. And here in this chapter, we also find out that he can use two sword style with his sword leg. So when on earth did he learn that? I mean, throughout the chapter, we find out that some of the Nine Red Scabbards, some of the sword users actually did learn Oden's two sword style in secret. Oden wanted to teach him, and we get confirmation that Oden was actually the one that taught him Ryo Haki. So yeah, the Ryo Haki is actually officially confirmed that they all know the Ryo Haki, and that Oden as well knew the Ryo Haki, and that it was Oden that was teaching them it, but not directly. So maybe the fact that it wasn't directly could actually be a negative thing that comes up later on. But they didn't want Oden to teach them directly because they knew that if they did, they'd all be fighting for like top pupil positions. So they just kind of watched and observed and learned in secret. The Inuarashi one, I'm a little bit confused by, because why can't he now not be a three sword style user if he trained to use two swords and now he's also got the sword leg? So that's a little bit weird, so we'll just ignore the Inuarashi one. But it's really good to see that Kinemon here confirmed that he can use Oden two-sword style. He was already a two-sword style user, so it does make sense that he was actually an Oden two-sword style user as well. That is a bit of a mouthful. But the action was really good. Like I said, all of the Scabbards had a go, including Kawamatsu, who went in and he actually got knocked back by Kaido. So it wasn't just Kaido getting absolutely beat, even though in this chapter he was getting completely beat. I mean, I say completely beat. He was taking damage, he was in pain, he was bleeding, but he still looks pretty clean. But Raizo was the MVP. Raizo was the MVP. He went in, he pulled out a scroll, he absorbed Kaido's fire breath, he then made that scroll massive, it wrapped around Kaido and it fired all of his fire breath back. It was awesome. Amazing stuff for Raizo. Raizo just absolutely climbed the ranks. Kawamatsu kind of fell down the ranks a little bit by the fact that he was the one that got knocked back. But then Raizo just came and climbed the ranks. And there's some big question marks over Raizo in this chapter, because he is doing some pretty magical, amazing things with that scroll. You know, summoning the scroll out of thin air, then absorbing the fire into the scroll, and then making the scroll massive, like changing its size and everything, completely wrapping around Kaido. You know how big Kaido is in his dragon form. Maybe actually the fact that he is in dragon form is making him a little bit at a disadvantage because he's a little bit of a bigger target. Maybe we will actually see him go into hybrid form when he actually starts properly beating the Scabbards. Anyway, yeah, Raizo, he creates this great big scroll. And how is he doing it? It has to be, surely it has to be devil fruit related, right? Because if it is just like normal ninjutsu, that is opening a whole new thing, like Naruto, chakra, ninjutsu. It's bringing all of that into the One Piece world when we already have defined rules of, you know, there's like haki and there's devil fruit. There's been no ninjutsu stuff so far. All of the ninjutsu that we've seen, Kinemon, Shinobu, Kanjuro, they have all been devil fruit related. Surely Raizo has a devil fruit, or at least the scroll has a devil fruit, or like some of his tools or something has a devil fruit. Because how is it doing this? Otherwise, how is he creating a massive scroll? What kind of devil fruit can he have? Maybe something like the ninja fruit that gives him ninja powers. We've seen him make duplicates of himself and stuff, but does that not seem maybe a little bit too broad to have ninja fruit? Why would that be a thing unless it's like mythical zone ninja? That doesn't really make any sense either. I'm thinking maybe since he had the scroll and since we saw him doing stuff with the scroll, maybe he's got something akin to Montdore's power. Maybe he has something like the paper fruit, so it's like a version of the book fruit, but he can just kind of control paper, which here is manifesting as a scroll. And when we see him make duplicates of himself, they'd be like kind of paper clones, like kind of a thing. And we've also seen him like using paper as well to like disguise himself and stuff. So yeah, maybe he has paper fruit, maybe ninja fruit, but I think it's pretty clear that Raizo does have a devil fruit. Otherwise, he has just introduced a whole new level of power to the One Piece world. But enough about Raizo, enough about the action. The action was good. It's going to look absolutely glorious in the anime, and there were some really beautiful panels here as well. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened in the chapter. It mainly all happened at the beginning of the chapter, because like I said, most of it was the fight, and some of the stuff at the beginning wasn't as good and was a little bit confusing and was quite disappointing. The biggest disappointment was Marco meeting up with Big Mom and Perospero meeting up with Big Mom as well. Previously, we thought that Perospero and Marco were going to be working together. It turns out they were working together, but now Perospero is back with Big Mom, and Big Mom has seemingly let Marco go, just being like, okay, you go do your own thing. Very disappointing. I thought we were actually going to get some Perospero betraying Big Mom, going against Big Mom. Maybe that's still there, you know, his voice is saying one thing, his eyes are saying a different thing. But it was disappointing. I was hoping for a little bit more in there. That seemed like it was a big tease that went absolutely nowhere. It is interesting that Big Mom is seemingly kind of letting Marco go, and it was hype seeing Big Mom and Marco talking. Some really good stuff as well, talking about the Whitebeard pirates in there as well. But yeah, it's a little bit interesting that Big Mom's kind of let Marco go, kind of letting Marco do his own thing. Maybe this is hinting at the fact that Big Mom, in the end, is actually planning to betray Kaido all along, because she's like, you just go do your own thing. I actually don't really care. I've got my own plan. But then at the same time, she hates the Straw Hats, and she kind of talks about whippersnappers, which I'm assuming she means when she's talking about like the young generation, including the Straw Hats. So why, if she hates the Straw Hats that much, would she let Marco go and just help him and do his own thing? Little bit confusing, little bit weird, could go somewhere, but overall I am quite disappointed with that big turn with Perospero. Also, speaking of Perospero, Carrot, we see Carrot, she is running with Wanda. Wanda has just reappeared in the chapter. We was wondering where she was, but she has just reappeared here, and they are running presumably towards Perospero and Big Mom, with Carrot saying, I know who I saw. But if it is Perospero, when did you see Perospero, Carrot? Because Perospero was outside and is still outside, and you was inside Onigashima. So when did you see Perospero? Or is she talking about Big Mom? Is she talking about Big Mom and chasing after Big Mom? So yeah, a little bit weird there with Carrot, but it is good that Carrot is now actually kind of getting her own little side quest, getting her own little story, and potentially now we are going to get that Carrot and Perospero conflict, because if Perospero ended up as an ally, we might not have got that, but now it looks like we are going to get that. So there is some good in that disappointment with the Perospero twist. And the final thing as well is we have Black Maria, and she sings a song in this chapter. Wondering where Black Maria was. She's just chilling in one of the back rooms, and she sings a song, and her song potentially has some foreshadowing in it. Her song goes, on a snowy night, two who wish to be united but never could be together at last will meet beneath the light of the moon, their passions run high. Now that seems like big foreshadowing to me. Maybe she also has some kind of observation future sight style haki, or something like a Madame Charlie, or it could be related to whatever devil fruit she has, or it could just be random coincidence. There's no kind of clear sign here, but the fact that it was in this chapter obviously has some significance and has some meaning for being there. We see when she's saying it, two who wish to be united, we see Yamato and we see Momonosuke on the same page. We know Yamato wanted to meet up with Momonosuke and stuff, so them two maybe, but then their passions run high, and the fact that Momonosuke never actually knew who Yamato was, so they both didn't, it wasn't a mutual wanting to meet. Could it be someone that we're not seeing? Could it be Kinemon and Osuru? Could it be regarding what we're seeing here with Carrot on the last page. Carrot going out to Perospero. We also see Luffy as well. Could it be Luffy and Kaido? Not really sure who it's actually talking about in this chapter, but I think it is some definite foreshadowing. It is a snowy night. There is a full moon. So yeah, remember this song and let me know your thoughts. Who are the two that have their passions running high and want to meet? Could it actually be Kurosaki, Hiyori and Momonosuke? Could it be them two that are going to meet as well? We'll find out in the next few chapters. So yeah, that was a nice little tease. Felt kind of a little bit random, out of place, but overall this chapter was pretty good. The action was very good. The Black Maria stuff was a nice tease, but like I said, slightly out of place. The Perospero stuff was quite disappointing, at least for me, but slight intrigue in the fact that Big Mom is letting Marco go. So overall, pretty mixed chapter. Hyped to continue on with the fight. With the two swords style, I'm going to give this chapter 992 a purple tier. Hey, so thanks for watching. What did you think? Let me know about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, maybe give it a like, and if you really liked it, why not subscribe? You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and here's a related video you might enjoy, and something more fresh. I've been Hegassen, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!